Well, it was certain, one of the things, like I said, I love the commission split, which was far more favorable, is more favorable to the agent. It allows you to have the money to market yourself, to build your business, to put funds back into it, to grow it. You cannot do that working in a split shop. There's not enough money to go around. But with the commission splits that we provide, you do have that. I mean, you have that extra money to budget for marketing, to do your advertising, to do your websites, to do all the things that you need to do to grow your business. That was the first thing that attracted me. That is still the thing that I think that is so unique and wonderful about this. Along with that, with the commission split, the other things I like about the company is the fact that we have such support education-wise. As you probably know from talking to my agents, I'm big on that. I don't think you can give enough education to the agents. And I love the fact that we have the webinars, that we have corporate support, the Sellstate source. I mean, I can go on and on and on. There are tremendous things I like about this company. The other thing, aside from all the tools that we have, I think that we have a very unique, or in a very unique situation with our brand, because we have very forward-thinking, innovative people at the top. Very few people necessarily know Art and Neil. I think they're making a lot of noise for people do. But the whole executive team with Sellstate never stops. They're always on the leading edge. Sellstate Source is a perfect example of that. So if you're going to work for a large real estate company today, it's good to be with those that are innovative and fast-moving and fast-growing. Status quo is not good anymore. So that's what I love about our brand. And it's easy for me to promote that and to discuss that with prospective agents that I'm trying to recruit, because I believe that and I see it happening, all day long in this productive office.
How does Sellstate's commission structure compare to other companies?
You can always find, and this is something that I find interesting, because when I'm doing my recruiting, so, well, so-and-so is cheaper, what's your split, what's your fee, what's your, all of that. We have a very, very good commission structure for the agents, but aside from that, you can always find cheaper, but I think there's more than just a really good commission split. We have such a great value for the agents. I go back to the education. A lot of the education that they get with us, which is free, they would be paying thousands of dollars to other brokerages out there for this education. Ours is free. They get that support, they get the education free, they get a very, very good commission split. Are we the cheapest? No. But do I feel that our company value proposition is one of the best out there right now in the industry? Absolutely, without question.
When you speak to agents, what do you tell them about the advantages of working for Sellstate?
This is interesting, because when I do my presentations with the agents, first of all, I spend some time to find out, what it is they're looking for. What do they feel, if they could wave a magic wand, so to speak, what is the perfect brokerage for you? Most of them have a very good idea of what they think they want. And a lot of times, the money is not first, believe it or not. So once I listen to them, and then I give them what our value proposition is, which is, like I said, the education, the webinars, the support of corporate, the Sellstate source, all the things that we have, benefits that we have from corporate, and then I go into what I consider our value proposition as our office. Then it's like the commissions are almost like at the end of the road. And besides that, my agents laugh all the time. I get excited, I talk with my hands. And then I say, oh, by the way, the best part, the agent asset development program that we have here is amazing. I mean, as you well know from talking to my agents, I've got many of my agents, some of them made as high as $11,000 passive income last year. Well, that pays their fees, they're working for free, it pays their board membership, their MLS fees, plus in some cases gives them extra money to do whatever they may want to do with. So there are so many benefits that we have as a company to offer an agent that it can't be matched. So you have to look at it, if it's all about commissions, we're probably not going to win them. But it's about total value proposition, we absolutely can win hands down. But you also have to believe in what we have to offer, and you have to show the agents how to use it and what the benefit is.
You've recently added a new asset in your agent training program. Several of the agents have literally told us it was a boot camp and that they were held to the highest of accountability, and they felt that this was a great value to them. Tell us the little reasons why you're conducting your training this way.
I guess I look at it, I went back and I looked at what I felt I needed when I got into real estate. And I'm somewhat of a perfectionist. I like to do things as good as or better than my husband. If he were here, would tell you better than the other person or whatever. But I've always been driven that way. And when I got involved in the training, the big brand training, I'll tell you an experience I had. I followed their training to a letter. One of the first customers I took out, I did what they said, set them down, in the client room, ask them what they're willing to spend, punch up on MLS, take them out. I did this, but what they didn't teach us was the detail and in-depth way, professional way in which I think that you should do that. So I remember driving this client, putting he and his wife in my car, drive up to the first MLS, which I thought was the first house they would like, based on the criteria they told me. And I'm sitting there looking at an MLS sheet. I've never been so humiliated in my life, looking at this lot with a house that was burned to the ground. And I'm thinking, oh, this is not really good. And he looked at me and he said, why did you bring me here? And I've never been so embarrassed and so humiliated in my life. And I got back to my office and went immediately into my broker and I said, there's something wrong with this training. Let me explain to you what just happened to me. Oh, the odds of that happening again are slim to none. I said, you don't understand my personality very well. The fact that it happened the first time is way more than I'm willing to accept. So I spent the next 3 months devising my own way of what I should learn, what I should do, how should I approach the real estate. And from that, was very successful in my rookie year, extremely successful. So I adapted that training into what I use as my boot camp now for my agents. It's very non-conventional. I do field trips with them, which there's not another training, out there, brokerages that are doing anything like that. Well, that takes time. I'm not going to do it. I immerse them in real estate up to their eyeballs, and I hold them accountable. I have devised, sheets that they'll hold them accountable. I give them, this is what you're to do. Why didn't you do it? Whatever. I did hold them accountable. I rehearsed their listing presentations with them. I taught them how to do a pre-listing presentation, which gets rid of 75% of the objections before you get to the CMA. I taught them how to properly interview a buyer, how to then, after you interview that buyer, take that criteria and give it back to that buyer and prepare what my broker used to call my magic buyer's packet. I make one for the husband, I make one for the wife. They have a report card on each of the property. By the time you show all of the property to them, I let them know my car is not going out of the driveway until they write on the report card. So when you're done looking at houses, I always show the best first. When we're done looking at houses, I never came back without an offer, because they've got the material they need to make an answer. When you are interviewing these customers also, I would find out what the husband's emotional hot buttons were, what was the emotional hot buttons for the wife. So when I would preview the property, which I always did prior to taking them out, if it was a dock for him, if it was a granite kitchen for her, whatever it might be, and yet we would find their property that I knew was perfect, prior to taking them out, I would already have the estimates. Here's your draft for your dock, what it's going to cost you. Here's your new beautiful kitchen, this is what it's going to cost you, so that they could still make a decision. Where I think that we fail in training agents is not preparing them to have the necessary information for a buyer to make a decision. That's why you don't hear them, say, well, I showed 28 houses, they couldn't make a decision. So my whole premise of my education was about teaching them how to do it right, how to do it better than the average agent out there. Because if you approach it from a professional standpoint, and you've interviewed my agents, how many of them told you what confidence I had when they finished? It was because they were taught to do it right.